Hi everyone, good afternoon. It's Connor 500 talking. Just a video to go through a few additional things that I've missed along the way or I forgot to say. There's no tips here or anything like that, so most of you is not going to be interested. I'm going to try and talk a bit slower on this one because I'm speeding through, and I'm bloody forgetting most of what I'm going to say. Okay, right, so we're going to start off. I'm going to go through that EV thing that I tried to last night on that bloody video and it didn't go correctly. I just want to get this out there just so you can see. Okay, the win price 80 to 1, real win price 100 to 1, okay? So the EV there is minus 20%. If you backed that horse yesterday, the 80 to 1 shot, you lost 20% EV on your win price, okay? The place price, we got 16s because if you're taking 80 to 1, a fifth of the odds, it's 16s on your place half, right? At the time of the off, because I tracked it on the time of the off, in the 8th place market on Betfair, 8th place market, it was 6 to 1. It was a 6 to 1 shot in the 8th place market. And in the 7th place market, it was an 8 to 1 shot. So even if you're taking 7 each way, you're getting 16 to 1, about an 8 to 1 shot on your place half, okay? The 8th place EV was plus 142%. Okay, on your place bet, your EV yesterday, if you was getting 8 each way, is 142%. So for every pound you put on, you're getting an additional £1.42 in profit on that place bet. Now, what we obviously have to do is we have to mix the win EV together with the place EV. So have a look at that. Okay, if you add it together, I do have EV calculators for this. I could go into how the calculators run and stuff. It's going to be a lot longer video, so I'm just going to tell you rather than explain it. I am right, because if I'm wrong here, somebody's going to tell me I'm wrong. But I'm not wrong, I'm right. The each way bet, if you had an each way bet on that 80 to 1 shot yesterday, 7 each way, your EV was 34%. So for your total bet, your EV was 34%. So if you had £1 each way on it, you've got 34% EV, which on the total bet, if you're having a pound each way, you'd make buddy 68p. It's 68p EV on your bet if you had a pound each way. Do you get what I mean? But if you was betting at 8 each way yesterday, if you managed to punt that with Sky yesterday at 8 each way, 80 to 1, your EV on the total bet was 61%. You had 61% EV. So if you had a pound each way on Sky Bet, 80 to 1, 8 each way, your value there, you're making on the long run £1.22. Yeah, you are. You're making £1.22. I hope that makes sense. I know a lot of people, okay, because on this channel there's going to be a wide variety of people. There's going to be the ultra casual punter. There's going to be the ultra casual punter, and you're going to go all the way up to other professionals who are watching it out just out of interest. Because obviously, if you're a professional punter, I'm going to tell you this now. If you're a professional punter or a super serious punter, you're not going to get anything out of Connor 500. You're not. You're going to know it anyway, and you're going to know how to do things yourself. Am I going to explain this now? Yeah, I will. No, I'm going to explain that in a minute. A couple of things to clear up. Okay. Remember, this video is only here if you're bored. Okay, to clear up one thing that I said yesterday about working in the small bookmaker, I said that you have 2 types of clients. You actually have 3. So the 3 types of clients you're going to get, this I believe to be true of all small bookmakers. This is going to be true of all small bookmakers. If there's a small bookmaker watching this with an online website, they'll understand what I'm saying here. You're going to get 3 types of clients. You're going to get the clients who are closed everywhere. You're going to get the client who's been arbing 365 and he's been banned. He's been banned from Paddy, he's been banned from Hills, banned absolutely everywhere. And that's why he's ended up with a small bookmaker. Because it's true, no new clients, no new small staking clients, they're not going to go past 365 and all their wonderful offers and go straight to a small bookmaker. They're not going to do it. Okay, so the first type of customer, the ones that have been closed everywhere. They're closed everywhere and they've ended up with the small bookmakers because there's no more value to hoover up. They've got their hoover up for the value. All the bookies have shut their lockers, so they've ended up at the small firm. The second lot of people, which I'm not going to go into too much, is the self-excluders. Because people generally self-exclude always in the same fashion, in the sense that they'll open an account, they'll punt it a little bit, maybe for the first few days they'll be low, and then their problem, and this is a serious subject, gambling problem is ultra serious, their problem will kick in and they'll have a bad old night, they'll have a horrific night, they'll self-exclude on that same night. So they'll tilt, they'll self-exclude, and then a couple of days later, couple of days later, they want to punt again, but they've self-excluded. So they'll do that on every firm. And sooner or later, they'll run out of firms to sign up to. So you'll end up at the very small bookmakers. One quick story, I'm not going to go into this. Am I going to tell you this story? I'm going to leave this story for now. I'm going to leave that story for now, actually. Okay, so that's that. And the third type of client, which is what I missed out yesterday, because I do want to include this because it's a bit important to the small bookmakers. They do have it's not just self-excluders and arbors. It's not. You also get the clients that they've built up. You get the famous names and stuff like that. You get the big names that are there. You do get a third type of client that they've met on the golf course and something like that. And these are usually massive stake clients. So yeah, you get the arbors, the self-excluders, and the private clients. So I just wanted, it may not seem important, but I just didn't want everyone to think there was only those first two types of clients. Okay, one question that somebody brought up earlier today, in which they said they understand the bad each ways, they understand the logic in the bad each ways, but they don't understand why we would be punting these big handicaps. The 16 runner 4 each way. In yesterday's case, it was a 26 runner 8 each way. They're not bad each ways, but they're overbroke in the same way. Just like I showed you this, they're massively overbroke. And by that, I mean with the place terms they're paying, they can't control the fact that they're going to be paying too much out on the place side. Because if they try and control the win side, because you can say, what if they shorten it up on the win? Okay, but they can't shorten up everything. Do you know what I mean? They can't shorten everything up. And it leaves them overbroke on the place. I'm trying to think how to easily get this across without going too mathematical and confusing it. But I'm going to give you a hard and fast rule here. If you've got a 16 runner handicap, say any of you are punting one day, you're in your thread, you see up on the wall, there's a 16 runner handicap and there's a shortish favourite. There's just say it's a bloody even money favourite in a 16 runner handicap. And also there's a load of dead wood, there's a load of massive outsiders. It's going to be absolute value for the middle of that market. And that's based on maths. It's because of maths. And if you look into it, if you get the calculators up, the EV calculators, it is going to be value in the same way that a bad each way is. And in yesterday's... Okay, 8 each way is a big example here because you're not normally going to get 8 each way. So let's say 6 each way. If you've got, let's call it now a 22 runner handicap, 6 each way, the middle of the market, again, it's going to be overbroke. It's going to be, and it's because of maths. It's just because of the way maths work. If you get yourself an EV calculator up, you'll see that. But I'm talking facts here, and this is why the bookmakers don't particularly like taking money on 16 runner handicaps. They'll take a lot more on their 16 runner handicaps than bad each ways. It's harder to get on a bad each way than it is a 16 runner handicap because you'll get on 16 runner handicaps easier. Yeah, I'm going to go into this. I'm going to go into that one again on explaining why 16 runner handicaps do hold such appeal. I'm going to leave that one for now. I don't even think I've answered the question there properly. I do apologise. If you're that into, if you want to take it, yeah, there's a lot of value in bad each ways. I'm sorry, this whole last minute's probably not had much information in it. Okay, showing bets. Okay, when I why do I choose to show a bet or not show a bet in the morning? A lot of people understand why, and a lot of people I understand why they're asking. I do because I've been in this game years. I've seen everything. I've seen absolutely everything with tipsters. I honestly have. 99% of the time, you know, very questionable people. So I understand where you're coming from. Why aren't I showing tips? It's a bit of an issue. Okay, so a lot of you aren't going to know this, and that's forgivable. Is that I can't punt in my own online accounts. I can't. My own online accounts were banned 7-8 years ago. When you open an online account, if I open up a 365 today, in 3-4 days that will be gone. It's a fact. If I open up a 365 today, I stick a couple of bags in, bet on the value, that's going to be gone in 3-4 days. And at first that's fine because you can sign your mum up, your sister up. But as the years goes on, you start reaching some trouble because you're having to go further and further afield. And you're having to ask these people for all sorts of things to hold ID to their face. It's a nightmare. So I can't show online accounts on the day. There's no way I can do that because Think about what I'm having to do here. I'm having to send large amounts of money to someone I barely know now. I barely know them. They might be a friend of a friend, friend of a friend of a friend. So I've sent them a large amount of money. I've opened up, say, a Sky Bet in their name, put the money in. Now, say it comes to the morning on the video, I'm advising, what have I done today, True Destiny. I would be a bloody fool to hold up a live Sky account in someone else's name. Remember, you're not allowed to do this. It's not illegal. It's not illegal, but bookmakers will take you to court. You'll win in court. This is a story for another day. You will win in court. But the bookmakers will take it to court and they're going to make your life an absolute nightmare. So for me to hold up, if I was to, on a live account, so now what if Sky Bet say I've got 4 bags in there. Sky Bet then say Sky Bet's, I'm not saying Sky Bet's watching Conor 500 because they're not. But you can see where the risk is coming, because the last thing I want is to Sky Bet to turn around and say, we believe someone else is operating this account. Because I've had this before I did the videos. I don't know why they thought someone else was operating the account. It's the truth. I don't know what led them to do that. But this was William Hill. And it bloody dragged out and it had to go to court. And again, bear in mind, this isn't my account. This isn't bloody my account. If it was me going to court myself, if I had to go to court myself, that's fine. I'll just go to court, I'll take on Hill. I'm having to ask someone else to go to court. I'm filling it out in their name. You can see do you know what I mean? So for me to post an online account on here, okay, so shops, I can see what you're asking with the shops. Why aren't I going into a shop and posting the docket? Okay, there's 2 reasons. And I'm going to give you both of them because I'm just, on this channel, I hold my hands up. I'm not holding anything in reserve here. I'll just tell you the truth. Do you know what I mean? I've been honest with you. Can't bloody remember what I'm being honest about now. Okay, yeah, so the first reason, if it is a day that I was going out to the shop, because I haven't got any big problem with holding up a bet slip that doesn't show the shop. I've got no problem with that. The first problem is, I do my videos in the morning. I do them before I'm ready. Like, sometimes I'll get up in the morning. Well, not that I get up straight away, but I have a couple of hours just sitting around. Like, for me to do the video, all I'll do is I'll put my contact lenses in, wash my face, I'll come on and do the video. I might not be ready to leave the house for another 45 minutes because I'm still going to have a shower and that after. So if I was to show my bet slips in the morning, I'd have to get completely ready. I'd have to go out, and I can't really get on in the high street anymore. For me to get on the stakes that I want to portray on this video, I'd have to go further. I can't go to the centre now either. I'm running out. I'd probably have to get on a train somewhere. By the time I get this video up, it's going to be mid-afternoon. I'm going to be standing in the street, unless I'm expected to come home with the slip. Unless I've got to go out and then cut, because by then it'll be evening. By then the race is off. So we've established that I can't show you live online accounts. We've established that it's a difficulty in the morning to show. And one other thing, I don't have to say this next bit. I haven't got to say it, but I am going to say it because I want to be upfront about it. And I'm just so you know, because I'm not lying to you. I'm not ever trying to lie to you. I want to build up something here. I want to build up something where you can say, okay, this guy's telling the truth, because that is going to come in for me handy. One day, if you hear me telling the truth to you for the next 3-4 years, trust me, one day that's going to come in bloody handy for me, because one day I'm going to say something. And you're going to say, okay, he's been telling us the truth about everything for the last 3-4 years. Maybe the guy's got a bloody point here. You won't understand what I mean there. But anyway, okay, so sometimes I don't always go out and back it myself. I don't now. If I'd have done this channel 5 years ago, I would. I'd be out every day. I was 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago. I was out a lot earlier than I am now. I was out all day. I had runners. I was living in London at the time. I know London off the back of my hand. I know London off the absolute back of my hand. I've been punting there years. I've had runners round. I've spent years filled in phone calls from whoever it is telling me, how do I get to this next shop or this next... I know it off the back of my hand. I've spent my life standing on the Edgware Road. My favourite one probably to hang around, because a lot of the time when you've got runners, you're hanging around... because you need to get the money off the runners. You need to give some runners you can trust. Like this Sean guy, yeah, if he had 20 bags of mine in his pocket, I would not have a problem with that. Same for Fraser. If Fraser had, I still speak to him now. If he had 20 bags of my money in his pocket, it's not an issue. But other runners, you know, it's difficult to get runners in this game sometimes. I'm going to quickly tell you why. It's because anyone who's actually any good at anything normally has a full-time job anyway. Anyone who's competent in life, usually has a full-time job, which means they're not able to run. So I'm left with the bloody dregs. They're not all dregs. Like I said, I had two fantastic runners.